Hey y'all, a7iii here, and I want to talk about another advantage that the a7 III has over the a7R3 or the a7R2, and this is something that you may not have thought about. Now with the a7R2, I used it for several years, and it was a great camera. The autofocus performance was extremely poor, but it was a great camera. One of the pitfalls with the a7R2 and also the a7R3, even if you take a high degree of care of your camera and you're careful when you change your lenses, you're not in a dusty environment, you've blown off the lens before you take it off, you've blown off the camera body to better reduce the possibility of dust and or other debris entering the body of the camera, you probably still get dust in there. I know I did with my a7R2. It wasn't visible 80 or 90% of the time, but if I shot towards the blue sky, solid blue sky, at an f/22 aperture, it was often highly visible. Now most of those things you can correct within post with a healing brush, but it's still an extra step within the process that's less than ideal. So one of the advantages that the a7 III has over the a7R2 or the a7R3 is the fact that it's a 24 megapixel versus a 42 megapixel. So when you're dealing with tiny specks of dust or tiny specks of other debris, there's a heightened possibility that you may not notice it within your footage with the a7 III in comparison to say an a7R3 or an a7R2. So just another thing to think about. Again, I am super cautious when I change my lenses. If the wind is blowing, I try not to change my lens. If I'm in a dusty environment with a lot of pollen and that sort of stuff, I try not to change the lens. And if I do, I try to protect that area where I'm changing the lens. Ideally, I'll do it indoors where there's no wind or no air conditioner, and take an extreme amount of care when I do that. But just something else to think about if you haven't thought about it. Hope this video is of value. Check the link within this video's description. You can find the a7 III, the microphone I'm using, the tripod, extra batteries, all of my accessories, and a ton of tutorials too. That's my goal. So if you have any questions about this camera, feel free to ask, because I'm trying to put out as much content as I can. Because I want to see what I dislike about the a7 III, and so far it's been hard to find anything that I dislike. So thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe, youtube.com/a7iii. Y'all have a good day. Hey y'all, a7iii here. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to subscribe, like, and share. It's viewers like you that enable my channel to continue to grow. Thank you.